Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Sean here. I'm doing my Saturday old school deck tech. This is would be called the Eternal Central rules, I believe, where you can have 4 strip mines and it's not restricted. Going into the deck here, it's more of an aggro control deck. It's kind of an adaptation of Andreas Cermak's deck. It's like a white-blue hybrid type deck. And you can tell the Serendipity are green. Those were the least expensive copies. This was a budget build. I was trying to build something quick before the GP Las Vegas here this year. And so it's a very fast and efficient deck with some counter spells and other crazy things it can do. So we've starting off with 4 Savannah Lions, 4 Serendipity, which is probably one of the most popular creatures in the old school format. I've got a Juggernaut, and then I've got 3 Sarah Angels, which I actually got autographed by Douglas Schuler at the tournament. So kind of just fast and efficient creatures. I can jam them out, swing with them, hold one back with a counter spell, make sure the board's clear before I play one, stuff like that. Going on to the spells in the deck, I think one of the most like the best card in the format from my standpoint is Disenchant. So I do main deck 4 Disenchants. It hits all the power cards like your Moxes, your Lotus, your Chaos Orb. It also hits crazy stuff like Moat, Abyss, all kinds of different crazy enchantments that are played in the format. There's a whole bunch I'm not even gonna mention. I mean, I got Control Magic in my deck. It hits that too. So it hits all kinds of stuff. Very versatile card for old school format. And then we have 3 Swords to Plowshares. It's just a really fast and efficient creature removal. If I run into another aggro deck or a creature deck, I got to have some kind of removal in here. We've also got 3 Psionic Blast. I also got those signed at the Grand Prix. I've got a play set of them. But those are, it could be used as removal, but more times than not when I was playing with the deck, it was used to do 4 damage to the face to end the game to win. And then we kind of got some odd numbers of other spells here. This deck, like I said, was put together really quickly with what I had on hand. You know, it could probably use some tweaks and stuff, but it's just for fun. It's, you know, I had a good time playing the deck. You've got 1 counter spell, 1 mana drain, which I love. You've got the Ancestral Recall and the Time Walk. You've got the Balance, which is a very, very powerful card in this format. You've got Chaos Orb, which everyone likes to play. I'm not as fond of it as some other people. I'm pretty bad at flipping them. And I thought about taking out one of the Sarah Angels for a Guardian Beast, so that way I could have like ultimate Chaos Orb flipping. You got a Demonic Tutor, which I also got signed at the tournament. You've got 2 Power Sinks. The guy's got mustard all over him. You've got 1 Beta Control Magic, and then 1 Mind Twist, which has been a spectacular card. No wonder why it got banned in most formats. One crazy story with the Balance. I was playing, I think, Jeff, and he was playing some kind of crazy deck. I don't even remember what colors it was. I know it was like at least green and red, but I think it might have been 3 colors. And, you know, we were going back and forth for a while. I was beating him down with the Mishra Factory, and he Eureka'd, and I didn't really have any responses to it that I could play from my hand. And I think he dropped a Force of Nature and 2 Shivan Dragons or something like that. I didn't have any creatures in play because I just had Mishra's Factories I was beating him down with, and the very next card I drew was a Balance, and I just completely wiped the board because he didn't have anything to respond to it in his colors, and then continued to attack with the Mishra Factory. Pretty crazy. Okay, we're going to go on to the lands in the deck. For the lands, I've got an Underground Sea, 4 Tundras because it's primarily white and blue, but there's a couple black cards I splashed in which make the deck a little more efficient. You've got 2 Scrublands, 3 Cities of Brass, a Library of Alexandria, 4 Strip Mines, 4 Mishra's Factories, an Italian Mazavith, which is pretty cool. It's kind of hard to see in this picture. I just did these pictures real quick on my eBay station. It's white to kind of make stuff pop out, but I did it real quick, and it's a little blurrier than I wanted it to be. I just took these with my camera phone. I need to get a new phone with a better camera. But the cool thing about the Italian Legends Mazavith versus just a regular dark version is the coloring on the card is a little bit darker, and you can actually see there is a body in the Mazavith that's been eaten and slowly digesting, which is pretty crazy looking. I think it's pretty cool. Got a soul ring, and then we've got the all the moxes in a lotus. I didn't really have any problems with any of the mana efficiencies. I always got what I needed. I'd say one weakness to this deck probably in the format would be Blood Moon, but that's the same with a lot of the decks in the format. Blood Moon really hurts a lot of decks, so that's another reason why I had 4 disenchants in the main, was because of Blood Moon. Now we're going to the sideboard. The sideboard is probably the weakest of the whole deck, just because, like I said, I slapped this together really quick, and I used it with cards I had on hand. I wasn't really buying in order and stuff or trading for anything or nothing like that. So I just slapped it together with cards I had on hand. You got the 4 Psionic Blast. You've got 2 more power sinks for counter spells. I put in a Steel Artifact. I don't even know if it's really that good, but you know, I could steal somebody's Juggernaut or something, and it'd be pretty cool. So I guess it just depends. If I played against an artifact heavy deck, I would probably sideboard it in. 4 Swords to Plowshare for creature removal. 2 COP reds in case I ran into like a rug deck or a burn deck. And then I went heavy against black just because I remember way back in the day when we used to play, black decks were really popular with like Black Knights and Urg Raiders and Dark Rituals and Singer Vampires and stuff like that. So I went ahead and put in 4 White Knights and 4 Black Knights to kind of round it out. So the sideboard's really strong against a black deck. And that's really it. This deck could probably use some fine tuning. I didn't lose a match out of any of the, I probably played about, I don't know, 15 matches with this deck, and I never lost a match. And the only game I can remember losing was against a white-green deck that played Leprechaun and COP green and green glyphs. So basically, like, he turned all your stuff green, and then he had a COP green, so you couldn't do damage to him. And then all his Leprechaun, I don't think, could be blocked by green creatures, so I couldn't block his creature. So I lost a game to that deck, but I won the match. It was a very interesting and annoying deck, but it was fun. So that's one thing I loved about Old School, is the deck variations. You know, they varied greatly to where you'd have a deck with the power 9 and a combo in it, and then the next deck you'd have like a mono black aggro deck or some kind of crazy aggro deck that had interactions you weren't prepared for. So Old School is a really fun format, and the cool thing about Old School is once you have your deck, it doesn't really change. I mean, people will change their decks and stuff and upgrade their decks and everything like that, but it's not like more cards are getting put into the format like Modern or Standard. So once you get your deck, you can pretty much have it for life. So this does have, it does need some upgrades, and the deck's nowhere near complete. I've slowly upgraded the deck. The power is actually, these are not real cards. These are proxies that I made. Same thing with the library and the cities. Cities and Arabian Nights are about $250 a piece for a really beat up one. But no one I played against, I wasn't playing in a sanctioned event or any of the main tournaments. We were just playing for fun. No one really cared. So I think that's pretty cool. I think Wizards should go back, as far as sanctioned events for these, and see if there's something else that can't be done to make it to where you can have proxies or sanctioned proxies or stuff like that to get more people involved in the format. But then on the other side is, they don't want to get more people involved in this format because there's no secondary market for it. They can't make any money off of it. It's all vendors selling these old used cards. Wizards of the Coast isn't selling any of these cards. So that's one kind of crazy thing to think about when it comes to Old School. So that's my deck tech for the day. Let me know what you guys think about my deck. I know it could use some upgrades. I think I could probably put in some more counter spells over power sinks, but in some cases the power sinks were a lot better. So it's just a deck I put together, real fun to play, and it's a very competitive old school deck. Like I said, and you know, it was a budget build. I don't know how much money's in this deck. Even with the proxies, it's still probably several $1,000s, but it was fun to play. And I had a good time when I was in GP Vegas playing with the deck. I haven't really done any of the online yet just because I haven't had time, and you got to set up the video camera, but I plan on getting some Skype games in at some point here in the near future. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Share your thoughts with me, what you think about the deck, maybe some improvements I can make. Also, let me know what kind of decks you're playing. I'd be interested in knowing what kind of old school deck you guys play too. So thanks for watching. Have a great rest of the weekend, and have a great Thanksgiving here coming up. Look for my next video tomorrow. I think I'm going to do another reseller video, an update from my eBay on stuff I've been selling and the profits I've been making on those items. I think that's the next thing I'm going to do because it's going to be pretty quick and easy to put together for a Sunday because I've got football and other stuff going on. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get a notification. And as always, if you guys need anything, just give me a holler.